Hello, my name is Rachel, and today I'm going to answer some frequently asked questions. Before I start, I just want to say, and I've said this many times before, but I need to make sure it's clear, I am not a doctor, I am not a nutritionist, I'm not a counselor, professional of any sort. My degree is in communications, so I got this down, but as far as having actual medical knowledge, no, I'm just a girl who recovered from an eating disorder and now is vegan and can only speak to my own experiences. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's see what these questions were. So I'm gonna start with the most frequently asked question. And that noise you hear is my cat going to the bathroom. So this question was asked like almost 10 times, I swear. I was shocked. So if this answer doesn't do it for you and you'd like a whole video on the topic, please let me know. I'd be happy to work that in. How do you get over the feeling of not being able to commit to a full recovery because you've already gained some weight or have become weight restored on lower calorie numbers in quasi recovery? So basically in quasi recovery, you became weight restored or you gained some weight, and because of that, you feel like you can't really recover because you've already gained weight. I have a lot to say on this, mostly because I experienced this as well, as you may already know if you're familiar with my recovery story. But first thing I have to say is that weight is only one aspect of an eating disorder. If you are still asking this kind of question, if you're still curious about recovery and wondering about it, you're clearly not recovered, you're clearly not mentally recovered, and your body probably isn't at the weight it wants to be at just because you think you're weight restored. Oh, that's where that shadow's coming from. It's from my computer. All right, let me move my computer. That's the first thing I have to say, is that weight is not the full picture of an eating disorder, and just because you think you're weight restored doesn't mean you're actually recovered. I was weight restored, I guess, when I decided to give recovery a go, because I was never really like underweight, super underweight to begin with, and well, the weight that I gained in quasi recovery had me at the, lower end of the BMI chart. I wasn't the version of the girl that I knew I could be and that I wanted to be, but I knew that she still existed somewhere down inside me and that she would never come back unless I gave recovery a real shot. Basically, what it boils down to are your priorities and what you ultimately are going to value in your life. And for me, I wanted happiness and true, honest health through recovery. And I ended up, after a long process, as we know, I ended up prioritizing that over any of the vanity or false happiness that being thin gave me. The only way out was through recovery, despite the fact that I already was at a bigger weight. Another big part of the decision was becoming really educated on metabolism and how metabolism works, because despite having gained the reason I gained weight on these lower numbers, and the reason you've probably gained weight in quasi recovery too, is because your metabolism isn't healed. So you're gaining weight on numbers that you should be able to maintain a happy weight on. You may be weight restored, but until you heal your metabolism, you're not right with your body. And that's another reason why giving recovery a go, despite being, having gained some weight, is a really super important decision. I know that was kind of a long, rambly answer, but essentially it boils down to, you need to learn how to shift your priorities. You need to recognize that weight is not the only aspect of an eating disorder. You need to decide how important it is and how vital it is that you get your mind and body right. And it doesn't matter what you weigh right now. Recovery is the answer to those questions. Okay, I hope that did it for you all. Let's move on to the next question. The next question was, how quickly can I increase my calories? To be honest, I don't know really what's right. I guess go at whatever pace you're comfortable with, but to that I have to say, why dilly-dally around slowly increasing when you're just gonna get there anyway? It's like, you might as well just rip the Band-Aid and eat that much now. Why put off recovery any longer by slowly increasing your intake? There's no danger in doing it, so just do it. Question 3, how do you deal with gaining weight around all of your friends who don't know you're struggling with an eating disorder? Well, I can really relate to this. I felt this way too. When I was recovering, I lived with 4 of my best friends and my sorority sisters. I mean, we lived together. So they were not only seeing me gain weight, but they were also seeing me eat. Before I did that, or kind of while I was doing that, I told them, listen, there is no shame in what you are going through. Your eating disorder will try and isolate you. Believe me, I was there. I understand how the voice will tell you not to tell people because it's shameful or wrong or embarrassing, but none of that is true. Your eating disorder is trying to keep you separated and isolated and alone so that it can continue to have more control over you. But the truth is, you can beat that by just telling people. This way, they are aware of what's going on, and they'll hopefully just be extraordinarily supportive, like, oh my God, you look so much healthier. Also, you might be surprised that they already know, because eating disorders are kind of obvious. Tell your friends, and if they don't support you, they're toxic friends, get that motherfucker out of your life anyway. And also, as far as feeling self-conscious about weight gain, this is what I always kind of tell myself, and I think I made a video about this a few months ago, but people are way too concerned with what's going on with themselves to notice what's going on with you more than 75% of the time. It's just a fact of human nature. People are self-absorbed. Just like you're worried that everyone's gonna notice that you gained weight, your friend's worried that everyone's gonna notice that she popped this huge zit on her forehead, and all of us are also worried about what's wrong with our bodies, that we really don't have as much time as you think to worry about judging other people's bodies. And if you are judging other people's bodies out loud, you're a shitty person. Stop doing that. People are allowed to do whatever the fuck they want with their bodies, okay? Question number 4. How quickly did I gain weight? Did I overshoot? And how long did it take me to settle back into my set point? I was also asked these questions a lot. And for those of you who ask me questions like this, I know why you're doing it, because I used to ask bloggers and you people on Tumblr these kinds of things all the time. You're looking for someone to compare your experience to so that you're not so scared of jumping in. But the truth is, and I know you're gonna hate this answer, but please try and listen to it and understand it, your experience will not be the same as my experience. If you do this, you will recover, but you will not recover the same way that I did. There's a lot of factors that go into your recovery that is gonna make it different than mine was. So me answering these questions isn't gonna really truly help you, and I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. And I know I've mentioned numbers before in previous videos, so if you're really curious, you can go dig around for that. Next question, is 3,500 calories crucial? As I mentioned at the top of this video, I'm not a doctor or a nutritionist. I advocate for this very specific type of recovery because this is the type of recovery that works for me and that I saw work for many other people. The reason that I think this 3,500 calorie thing worked, and not just because it worked for me, but also because I have to change my battery. It's about to die. Hold on. Back to where I was. Here are some reasons why I think 3,500 is great, besides the fact that it worked. One, it's suggested as a minimum. For so long, restrictive eaters are made to think within limits, limiting their calorie intake. So it's a mental exercise to think in terms of limitlessness. I can talk. And having a minimum calorie intake instead of a maximum puts you in this mindset that I think is really helpful and beneficial in terms of learning how to eat more and eat normally. Second reason is that the weight comes on really fast. That's a good thing. Weight gain, it sucks, but it is necessary. It's a part of recovery, and you might as well just rip it off like a Band-Aid and get it over with. That way your likelihood of relapsing is way less because you're not torturing yourself by putting on all of this weight so slowly. You just do it. It sounds daunting and scary, but believe me, it's best way to go about doing it. 3 is that, I was in quasi recovery, as I mentioned in a previous video, for a long time, and once I committed to real recovery, I finally felt my body respond. My body was begging for the food, which was a weird and interesting and kind of uncomfortable feeling, but it proved to me that this was what I was supposed to be doing. My body was literally asking for it. Within the first month, you'll find right away that you're warmer, you'll sleep better, your hair will get thicker. Oh my God, that was crazy when my hair started getting thicker again. If you don't have your period, then your period will probably come back. Mine came back pretty quickly after eating this number. Those are signs that your body is happy and responding, and I didn't get any of that when I was not eating 3,500. And so for me, that's just like another reason why I feel this number is crucial. I don't know if it's the be all end all, but the benefits really seem to outweigh anything else I tried. So for me, it was, and I think you'll find it is for you too. What are your thoughts on going vegan while in recovery? I got this question a few times as well, and I actually have made a whole video on it. It was one of the first videos I made a long time ago, so I'll link it. Basically, to summarize, I went vegan way after I was recovered. I was recovered for like over a year, and then I went vegan. I wanted to go vegan way before that, but I didn't, because there's two ways to approach veganism, and one is as a diet, and one is as an ethical decision and a lifestyle. And when you view it just as a diet, it can be kind of restrictive. I eat just as much, if not more, as now as a vegan as I did before I went vegan. My battery died on me again. Likely, if you are recovering, you're not going to be able to approach it for the right reasons, even if you truly, honestly think you are, because I really thought I would be able to, but let's be real, I wouldn't have. You need to take care of yourself before you can take on the responsibility of taking care of other animals in the world. Maybe this is something that you can talk about with your therapist. It's certainly something I talked about with mine. Make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, and I really don't recommend doing it while you're recovering. And I want the whole world to go vegan, but you have to be, like I said, you have to take care of yourself first. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that those answers were good and that they made sense. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please make sure to give me a thumbs up. If you have any more questions, ask in the comments down below. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, because you aren't already, please hit that subscribe button. My name is Rachel. I make videos on eating disorder recovery, veganism, intuitive eating, body positivity, self-love, and I would love to have you with me. I also make videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and if you can't remember that, you can feel free to hit the little bell next to the subscribe button, and you'll be notified every time I come out with a new video. So, with all of that being said, thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Bye!